Hello everyone and welcome back to another round of Tuesday Night Legacy, where we showcase Magic's most powerful formats. My name is Eugene and I'll be your commentator for this round 2 of our Pauper tournament from April 29th. On the left we have myself playing Boros Bully. This deck is based off of getting a bunch of 1/1s or small creatures in play using cards like Battle Screech with Flashback and Faithless Looting to generate a lot of value and getting Squadron Hawks into play, and hitting with super value cards like Seeker of the Way, or Palace Sentinels, or even Guardian of the Guild Pact. And once you have flooded the field with creatures, you rally the peasants, and you can even rally twice to give your entire board +4/+0, hopefully overwhelming the opponent. The opponent, Walt, from round 1, is playing Blue-Black Ninjas, getting a lot of value out of cards like Fairy Seer and Ornithopter, unblockable flyers that can get these different kinds of ninjas into play, like Deep Hours and Moon Circuit Hacker, and even Mistblade Shinobi, in order to generate a ton of value and be able to out-tempo the opponent by protecting these creatures with either counter spells or removal spells, things like that. So we have Walt starting off here with a Fairy Seer. Very good turn 1 play, setting up the next 2 draws. Having that Scry, sending 1 to the bottom. Didn't like both of them, but at least gets one of those 2 cards. Often setting up for the Ninjutsu on turn 2. Just a Plains Go from me. Let's see here, deciding. So he probably has the Moon Circuit Hacker if he's thinking about ninjutsuing with only 1 mana. Taking the 1. No ninjutsu here, but we do see a Consider. Consider a very strong card, a little bit better than Opt in this deck specifically. The Surveil allowing him to bin the extra card, putting it into the graveyard and fueling for the Gurmag Angler. Let's see here, not a ton of action from me. I'm going with that Boros Garrison, the Bounce Land. See a lot of these in the Pauper decks being able to ramp, but kind of not ramp since you have to bounce it back to your hand. It can create a huge 2-for-1 tempo loss, especially if you're playing against any kind of deck that can bounce any kind of permanent. So it's a bit of a risk, but it still pays off pretty well, especially in later game. Ooh, so we see this Fairy Seer getting loaded up with the Smoke Shroud, giving +1/+1 and flying. This is a include in Walt's deck that actually continues to pay off in dividends even later in the game, since that second line of text basically says whenever a ninja comes into play, just put it right on that ninja. So it doesn't matter if it's in the grave, if it resolves or not, because he'll get it back once he finally plays another ninja. And that ninja gains flying. So a pretty solid card. We saw an Abrade to deal with that Fairy Seer and a counterspell for one of the Squadron Hawks, trying to stop me from being able to get the rest of the Squadron Hawks, but it had a second Squadron Hawk in hand, so loading up the hand, either fueling for just having, 4 1/1 flyers over a period of 8 mana, or some cards to bin with the Faithless Looting. We see those Considers pay off on Walt's side with the Gurmag Angler, early Gurmag Angler, but I had the answer with the Journey to Nowhere. This is 2 mana to basically get rid of anything, any creature. A second Gurmag Angler is quite good though, but Gurmag does not have flying, so firing off this Battle Screech and immediately flashing it back gives 4 more birds to the field. Now 6 birds, 2 of which are untapped. And we see a Chainer's Edict. No block with the 6 birds. Chainer's Edict making me sacrifice a creature, only have 5 birds. Probably setting up for a rally. Hopefully finishing the game all at once here with these birds. Doing a Faithless Looting. Have to discard 2 cards. Discard a Faithless, discard a Mentor, or not a Mentor. All right, so we see the Rally of the Peasants here. Rally of the Peasants giving all creatures +2/+0. It can be flashback next turn, or it could have even been flashback if I had the mana for it, but this is going to be 12 damage coming through. So down to 6. have that rally next turn, and he couldn't deal with it, so we're on to game 2. Just a Windscarred Crag coming down. It's tap land, but you gain a life when it comes down. Probably going to be replaced by these new Capenna lands that can pay 4 and draw a card if you don't need it, or if you're getting flooded out. Very similar, as the mana or the life gain doesn't matter that much. I don't see burn isn't huge in the format right now. So we just see an Ornithopter come down, another Consider, filling up that yard nice and quick, probably going for an early Gurmag Angler, or at least that's the idea. We see the Ninjutsu of the Ninja of the Deep Hours. This one is just a generic. If this hits, you get to draw a card. Although it caught a red Elemental Blast. Being able to just destroy target blue permanent before it dealt damage. Oh no, it did deal damage. This was on my main phase. And then throwing down the Monastery, or the Seeker of the Way. Keep wanting to call it Monastery Mentor. So Seeker of the Way, getting that prowess and that lifelink prowess. This card can win games by itself if you are able to back up a prowess trigger every turn, constantly being able to gain that extra life back, even if you're in a swinging battle. That looks like a counter spell, getting rid of the Thraben Inspector. Yeah, counter spell. Didn't want to have that clue, didn't want to generate that extra advantage. A 1-2, basically a Squire for 1 mana, but you also get a clue, being able to draw a card whenever you feel like it for 2 mana. Comes down early and pays off late. Want to have a lot of advantage for these kinds of things. Now this is interesting. Loading up an Ornithopter with the Ninja Shroud. Taking 1. I guess the idea here is even if the Ornithopter is bounced, the Shroud will immediately go onto the Ninja that enters the battlefield. Flashing back a Faithless Looting, but it catches a Spell Stutter Sprite. And even though the Faithless Looting pay, or the cost was 3 for the flashback, it still gets countered because its CMC is still 1. So we see another Faithless Looting. I think. That was a little confusing. Alright, here is the Moon Circuit Hacker that is getting loaded up with the Ninja Shroud. Dealing some damage, getting draw card when it comes into play. A little too big to deal with just a Squadron Hawk. But a pass turn, seeing a Consider, huge board in the yard. Oh no, there was a Consider hoping to find the counterspell for the Squadron Hawk. Did not find it. So we're seeing all 4 Hawks reload the hand, back up to 6 cards in hand, or 5 cards in hand. Just attacking for 2. Was about to deploy that second Seeker of the Way, decided against it, and went for a Squadron Hawk, hoping to trade with this ninja, this flying ninja. Although we see out of the sideboard a Suffocating Fumes, getting rid of both of those Hawks. Shrinks the Seeker of the Way, but doesn't quite kill it. We see a Moon Circuit Hacker traded for a Moon Circuit Hacker. This can generate a lot of advantage in the coming turns here, being able to avoid that discard trigger, constantly getting that Smoke Shroud. Although we see a Journey to Nowhere come down, taking care of one of the 2 of the Moon Circuit Hackers. Still going to switch out for the other one. Still getting that value. And unfortunately, next turn he'll have to discard a card to draw a card. Or draw a card and then discard a card. Still a lot of value, though. Alright, the Faithless Looting being countered by the Spell Stutter Sprite. Oh. I guess I tapped that Highland. I tapped that crag like a Boros garrison there. I apologize, viewers. I can guarantee you I did not mean to cheat. Just a rules game violation, I suppose. See a second Journey to Nowhere come down for that second ninja. And passing it back. Got a lot of damage through with that Seeker of the Way. Casting a bunch of non-creature spells that turn. Just have Spell Starter Sprite and Nile Spellbomb. Spellbomb, a great card against the flashback deck. Being able to blow it up whenever he wants. And getting to draw a card by playing the black mana. Attacking for 2. And then trying to put another Seeker down. Spell Starter Sprite does stack, so it's for X amount of fairies you have in play. So with 2 fairies, able to counter a CMC card 2 or less, getting rid of that second Seeker. See a lot of cycling on Walt's side, trying to dig for an answer here. Decides to block. Passing it back, have a lot of mana open. 1 card in hand on my side. Walt looking through his graveyard really quick. Trying to decide probably what his options are. Looks like he has an island in hand, and I'm not sure what that second card was. Taking a pause here. I'm pretty sure what happened is I drew a Battle Screech, but the second card in my hand is a Rally the Peasants. So I decide to attack, because no matter what Walt does here, so I Rally the Peasants, which is going to give my creature +2/+0, and it's also going to get a prowess. So right now it's a 3/3 without it resolving. We're going to see a Dispel. It goes to the grave. Cast it again. Goes to a 4/4. Goes to a 6/4. And that's the game. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you really enjoyed that video. We hope to have more Friday Pauper events, and with more Pauper events means more Pauper content. So if you like that, please stay tuned. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel for more content. In fact, if you want to see more content, just keep watching to the end of this video. You'll have the subscribe button and a couple videos recommended for you. We want to also thank Spellhold for the use of their space. It's always a good time at Spellhold Games. If you haven't gone and you're local, you should definitely check us out. Our next video is going to be a deck tech with Max Gilmore, aka Max Torsion, on Magic Online. He is going to be talking about his pride and joy, Blue-Black Doomsday Tempo. We'll see you then.